It's been a long time since I've been on video and created a YouTube episode, and I've been overthinking about doing it. I had loads of ideas, loads of things have been happening, and I had too many things I wanted to talk about with you, which had been stopping me basically doing another episode. So I thought, okay, I'm just going to do one and get back into doing it, because I've really missed having a chat with you and sharing the things I've been up to and getting your comments back. I've really missed it. So I thought, okay, I'll just pick one thing, start again, or start from now, back into it. So yeah, quite a lot of things have been happening since August, end of August, which is when I did a last episode. I have continued with some of my crochet projects, and I also really went down the rabbit hole when I had the ancestry access, which I'd started looking into around Chew Valley Lake. That led then to me looking into family tree research for my own family tree, looking into my St Ives heritage, discovering that I had fishing heritage, which isn't surprising, but I'd never really looked into it in much detail before, so that sent me off on a whole other rabbit hole. But it has inadvertently sent me down another creative route. So this tends to be what happens, and I guess I need to accept more that this is how my brain works, and it's okay to have these tangents as long as I come back to what I was supposed to be working on at the beginning. Okay. The thing I've discovered, so okay, let's think. So there's Thomases in my family from St Ives, and one of those is Barnabas Thomas, who had a big fishing family, was part of a big fishing family, and the Barnabas is one of the last, or is the last fishing type of its kind in Cornwall. So that was the first thing that was interesting. Then I discovered, I made the connection between fishermen and Ganseys. So the jerseys with the knitted patterns on they have different designs depending on which part of the coast. So there was lots around Cornwall area, and they're all around Britain basically. Lots of different designs of these heavy, tightly knitted jumpers which fishermen would wear. So that then obviously got me thinking about the fact that my ancestors would have worn them, and that my ancestors, the women, would have knitted them. It tended to be, the men and the women, they both knitted the Gansey, so it wasn't predominantly a female activity, and that my ancestors would have been knitting these types of clothing. That really excited me. I remembered there was a book by Mary Wright, which was written in the 1970s, that was all about the Cornish Ganseys and the patterns. So I found a copy from World of Books, which I bought. It's a couple of quid. And I was obviously aware that this was taking me off on another route, but I thought, I'm interested, I'm going to go with it. And there's lots of different patterns. So there's some really great pictures. And also she worked out the different patterns. So I haven't knitted for years. I used to knit as a child, and then I stopped knitting for a really long time. I even, I got my knitting badge at Guides, and then I just stopped knitting. And then when I learned to crochet 4 years ago, which actually my 4-year crochet anniversary was a couple of weeks ago, and that was something else I thought, it'd be great to do a little video about all the things I've made and all the things I've learned in that 4 years. So I think I will do that that will be another video. I discovered circular knitting needles, which was a bit of a revelation, and I thought, do you know what, I really want to have a go at making one of these patterns, and in particular there's a pattern called the Vicar of Morwenstow Slate, which is this one. And the reason why I wanted to create, there he is there, wearing the Gansey. The reason why I wanted to create that pattern was because in 2015 I developed and went on my own version of a pilgrimage. I followed in the footsteps of Saint Morwenna, having discovered there was a Saint Morwenna who doesn't have an H in her name, and that she was from a Welsh family, 5th century, and that she would have travelled from the Brecon Beacons down to Morwenstow. I decided, it took a long time, long story, decided to follow in her footsteps. So travelled by bike, cycled down the Taff Trail, got to Cardiff, managed to find an amazing person to help with getting me across the Bristol Channel, crossed the Bristol Channel, and then walked down part of the South West Coast Path down to Morwenstow Church, and that is where Hawker was. Now Hawker is a really fascinating person. You've probably heard about him if you've watched any of the Countryfile programmes, or if you're in the National Trust. The National Trust look after the smallest National Trust building, which is actually Hawker's hut on the coastline, North Cornwall, where he used to go, smoke opium, wrote poems, wrote songs, he wrote Trelawney, and he also rescued a lot of fishermen who unfortunately were in wreckages. So he would go and rescue and save and, you know, bring people up, and they would be buried in the church at Morwenstow. So that was why I was really interested in that connection, and I have started using a non-traditional fishing colour, nice pink, but actually Hawker used to wear a pink frock coat. So here is my pattern so far. So I've got it on circular needles, so it's going to be a cowl type thing. So that's coming along nicely. I did try to do it first of all as a flat pattern. I didn't really understand. I didn't realise that the patterns were written in round, and then that was made a difference when you're knitting. So I did figure out to reverse the pattern, then I could do it, but then I thought actually I'm going to do it circular. So that's what I've got to. And this is West Yorkshire Spinners Colour Lab yarn in Very Berry. That's what I'm using for this. So I do apologise, this video is not going to be as probably polished as I'd try and like to be doing, but you know what, I wanted to just get back on to doing the videos, so it is going to be rough and ready. Yeah, so I'm quite pleased with how this is coming out. So it's a cowl, but it's quite small, so it's kind of like a neck sock, like a buff. So that's coming along, and I am aware I do have other projects that I am trying to finish. So that is the Morwenstow Cowl, and I did write about that journey in this book, The Biggest Book of Yes, and chapter 47. So here's the bit. There was illustrated. So I wrote about it in here, and I think the past couple of months it's been quite challenging, and that's also why I probably haven't really been very good at maintaining doing my YouTube videos. But like I said, I've really missed doing them, so I really wanted to get back into it. Hence jumping on and just kind of starting here. So many other things I wanted to talk to you about. I feel like I want to get a cup of coffee, chat. What else? So this, you may notice I've got another different pair of glasses. I've had some problems with my eyes, getting my glasses right. So that's also been a bit discombobulating, and has had quite an impact probably on me doing stuff. But third pair now, finally got them sorted, so that's good. Been to the cinema a couple of times, seen brilliant films. Went to see the Lee Miller film with Kate Winslet. It's a fantastic film. It's very moving, and I'd really recommend seeing it if you haven't seen it. But it is it's hard, it's a challenging film, but that was really good. And also went to see The Outcry, which is the book written by Amy Liptrot. I think that's how you say her surname. And that was inspired by her memoir, so that was also really good. Yeah. What else? I've also been having a go at knitting socks, but I feel that's another episode. And I really wanted to just pop in, say hello, I'm still here, and try to get myself back into my structure of doing regular videos and just kind of catching up with you all, really. Yeah, I feel like I've kind of exhausted myself. And I'll sign off now. It's quite a lot of blur in this one, just getting it out, and I will catch up with you again next week. Okay, take care, bye for now.